Following program is intended for a mature listening audience. Graphic and explicit language may be heard at times. The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual hosts and their guests do not necessarily express those of this station or sponsors. Listeners are advised that neither this station nor its owners and agents shall be held liable for the content of this program, rebroadcast, redistributed or reused without express written permission by host or producer is not allowed.
This is the Debbie Perkins Radio Show. And here's your host, Debbie Perkins.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Hollywood Red Carpet Radio Show. I'm Debbie Perkins, and I'm your host. Tonight we have a great person, Brian Vaughan. He is a director. Brian has acquired wealth of experience in artistic, technical aspects of movies and TV production. He's a screenwriter, an author, and as an actor on stage and in movies and television drama, including appearing in Slide, K9, and Steven Spielberg's 3D drama Terra Nova. He also is a keen horseman. Brian owned horses since 1972 and has ridden Western pleasure, cutting, roping, and has competed in numerous mechanical bull riding competitions, coming in as high as 5th out of 60 in the bullock and bull riding competitions. Came second in Agri, held over 2 days with 60 riders participating. He's featured in 1993 Melbourne Cup photo spread, and in his equestrian experience includes working 6 months as a strapper at Jack Clayson Racing Stables at Hendra, Brisbane, and riding instructor horse trainer at the Bit and Spur Riding Academy. Welcome to the show, Brian.
Thank you, Debbie, and thank you for the lovely introduction. I hope you're well.
I am great. Thank you so much. And what a thrill to have you on. Now, not only are you a writer, director, producer, you've also won some awards for some of your film work. But before we get all wrapped up in that, I would like to know where you grew up, and when you was a child, did you see yourself working in the film industry?
Yeah, well, I was born in Brisbane. We lived in Brisbane for a while, and then we went up to Mackay and lived up there. That's North Queensland. Then we travelled back down to Brisbane, moved around a little bit, and I never thought about being in the film industry. I used to always watch The Lone Ranger, and Hi-Ho Silver straight after school. And I've always loved horses, and we went to a few little riding schools, and then I bought my first horse when I was 15, and I did a lot of work in the horse industry, and this film stuff never ever entered my mind until about 1997, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, it's quite a change, but I can tell you started your equestrian career quite young.
Yes, yeah. Well, my first ride I can remember, I was probably about 5 years old at a riding school. We rode a horse called Ducky.
Wasn't that sweet? Yeah, you never forget Ducky either, did you?
No.
Can you still recall the gaits?
Yeah. Little. She was mostly cantering hay and trotting, and I was bouncing all over the place, and my best horse, I had a thoroughbred saddlebred. I had him for about 10 years, Kimberley, before he got sick and had to be put down. And then I had another quarter horse gelding, Shorty. I had him for 30 years. But
now, your saddlebred, was that horse racing in the sulky races?
No. He
Oh, it
used to
didn't?
just
Okay.
he used to just take off with me and run all over the place.
Oh,
I used
because a lot of the standardbreds here in America, they use them a lot for the sulky racing, and then they retire them to good homes.
yeah,
Sometimes they don't make it for very long. Like they try them out, and if they don't make, I guess there's a time frame mark that they have to reach, and if they don't make that, then they end up becoming someone's pet, and
yeah.
starting
And
all over.
and so they should be, like
Yes.
racehorses, and they get treated better than the elderly people in a elderly home, old people's home, And when you look at the horses and the bulls in the rodeo, they'll be lucky to do 5 minutes a year work. And
Wow.
then they're pampered like movie stars, same as the racehorses. They're movie stars, hey?
You wouldn't
People,
even know that
huh?
unless you're working in around that industry in the stables and with the horses, and they're
Yeah.
very valuable. Um, they only go down in value when they don't make those marks. But then again, we were talking. You were mentioning another horse that you had.
Yeah. I had a little quarter horse. We called him Shorty. When I first bought him, I said to Dad, geez, he's short. And
How
I had him,
tall
he was about 14 hands,
was he?
Yeah, but
I'm
he
not-
was built like a wrestler, like
Oh,
he
that's
was
great.
really built. He had those big, how they got the big backside like a washerwoman. He
Yes.
was massive, and then when he passed away, I thought, oh, I don't think I want another horse, and then in April this year, I purchased a little quarter horse mare from up Townsville, North Queensland, and she's won my heart again, eh?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And there's such a connection with a man and his horse. It's like a soulmate kind of feeling that you get when you find the right one. That it's almost like a connection.
Yes.
Now, with that skill set, was you allowed or able to integrate that into your filming industry?
No, not really, but learning how to talk with animals and stuff like that. You got to be gentle with them, and some of the actors that you work with, you got to be gentle with them too. I always talk to my people the way I expect them to talk to me. Nobody's higher up. The cleaning woman, the coffee person, they're just as big a part of my films as the major movie stars. And everybody wants to be treated professionally and kind in what they do. I think so. I think that should be anyway.
I think it's great. It's very interesting, and I never knew this, that in Australia they had bull riding competitions.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
No, well, and you know what? 8 seconds on a bull feels like an hour and a half.
It would. I've been on
Well,
crazy horses.
yeah.
I've never ridden a bull, but I know better.
Yeah.
I know
I
how
do.
crazy they are.
I better now. Hey, I'm a lot smarter than I used to be. Eh?
Well, when you're young, you'll jump on anything and go for a ride.
Yeah.
Hope you don't die.
Yeah. And you know what? The funny is, really hard to run backwards when you got the spurs digging in the dirt and a bull wants to eat your lunch. Yeah.
They do. But it's quite a sport, and it's taken extremely serious because there could be injuries.
Yeah.
Like you said, 3 minutes is an hour.
Yeah.
Now, you've done this. You've done this
Yeah.
professionally.
Yeah.
What was that like for you? Because I can't even imagine. I've done horse competitions, but I've never even seen the bull riding. What kind of training did you have to do to actually be able to do that? Because it's a skill too.
Yeah, well, a lot of people they get a 44-gallon drum. They put a rope on each end, and get somebody to pull it, and that gives you the balance and the technique of a bull. Me, I never did that. I just went in there one day and I just got myself a rope. It's a lot cheaper to buy a bull rope and a bell than it is to buy a saddle.
Yes.
So I got me bull rope and bell and chaps, and I just went in there and just did it, and luckily I didn't get hurt the first time because it gave me courage to keep going, but if I had to do it again, I don't know if I would, Yeah,
but the feeling you got when you were done, and your feet are planted on, you're finally over the fence, I guess.
Yeah.
You feel safe when the clowns. Now, do you have clowns that distract the bulls as well?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, there's usually about two clowns. We had a guy called Murray Davis, and he used to come with myself and my friend Greg O'Sullivan. He used to come and help us. And the only time I ever had a problem was one day in the shoot, the bull fell down on top of me, and he just,
oh my gosh!
Yeah, he just pulled me up. It's like a big crane. He just went bang, and lifted me out of the chute, and they're humongous,
monstrous beasts. They're just
and they are. And you know what? The crowd they're cheering the bull as much as they're cheering the rider. And that they like it, the excitement.
Well, you said like the animals become almost like celebrities.
Yes.
So people pick their favorites with the animals as well as the rider.
Yes, they do. Hey, like we had some big bulls going around. There's one everybody knows in Chainsaw. He was one of the top bucking bulls in Australia.
I was going to ask you, what was the craziest bull you've ever come across?
I think I did one called Spectacular Velvet. He was big black and white bull, and he had horns, really big horns.
Oh my gosh!
Out on him, and I was the last bull of the day, and I walked up and I had a look at him, and
oh my God! So you don't know before you start with a bull what you're going to get for a bull?
No.
So it's all like nobody knows, and it's their turn to go, and the bull that's there is the one they get.
Yeah. So
that's so crazy.
Whether or not it's changed a bit now, but in the movies you see these guys, they always know what bull they're going to ride or horse, but it's not like that in real life, and
it's not. So but then again, maybe that's good because the riders get used to specific bulls because they have maybe habits of turning quick to this, like a horse that rears, If it can get away with it enough times, it'll continue. But
it gets to be like a good habit with the horse, like that. Oh, well, this worked on that guy yesterday. I'm going to try it again today.
Oh my, yeah, exactly. And they think they can outsmart the rider, but then 3 minutes is 3 minutes, and then the person can go back and count their bruises, I guess.
Yeah, and most of them, like we do 8 seconds here in Australia, but even 8 seconds feels like 3 minutes, an hour, and like everybody's a celebrity in their own mind. Even the animals, they think they're really good, and it just takes one little slip to prove how good or bad you really are, eh?
Well, but then again, you get back up and you do it over.
Yeah.
You work it. You make it work, which is great. How cool is this? You've had so much fun, and you're still quite the equestrian. You're still riding.
Yeah.
Are you done doing the bulls?
Yeah.
You had your bruises enough.
I like going to rodeos with my mate Greg, and then something happened. He looks at me and smiles and goes, "Yeah, we did that," But I got this beautiful little quarter horse filly. She's about 2.5, nearly 3 years old,
Oh my
and
God, and a baby.
yeah, and she thinks she's lovely, hey, and she is.
She probably is beautiful.
Yeah,
Now, you're training her?
yeah. Well, I've got a trainer, Damien Todd at Gatton, training her, and I go down there every Monday and work her with him because I don't want I don't want her to get messed up by me doing something, so I make sure I go with a time that's suitable for him. We can work her out and get her going the way she should. But I want her to be I want her to be my cutting mare and
Oh, I see.
yeah,
Yeah, I was wondering if you're going to use her for Western pleasure just to
yeah,
enjoy, or if you're going to be gaming her.
yeah. I like to do Western pleasure with her, and that. But she is so fast, like
Oh, her gaits are fast then.
yeah.
She'll slow down when she hits 8, I think.
Yeah.
It depends.
Oh,
It
I
depends.
slow down.
Well, yeah, you know what? She'll match your personality during that day. So,
Yeah.
like, when you show up to do competition, she'll get in competition mode. She'll know what she's there for.
Yes.
I think they understand. I mean, if you do it enough with them while they're young, they get it. They understand.
They do, hey. Yeah.
And it's always a good time.
Yeah. Well,
But you've done.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying she's only a kindergarten baby at the moment, hey.
She is. She is. You just got past sort of lunging, breaking, and getting the saddle on, and then working with her gait. So it is a process. A lot of people nowadays they wouldn't know, about the horse thing unless they're involved with it. But not 100 years ago, everybody had the horses. So
yeah, and I wish you could go back again. Hey, life was so much simpler then, wasn't it? Hey,
you didn't need any gas.
Yeah, yeah, like
or electrical cars. That horse would run on just about nothing.
Yeah.
Leaves on the trees.
Yeah.
But that's really neat. Now you're talking about doing. You're going to teach her to do cutting with cattle.
Yes, I am. Yeah. I just while she's at this stage, when she's ready for me to go with her, I just want her to walk into the arena, just look at the cows and see what she says.
What she wants.
Yeah. If she doesn't,
you let the horse choose the cow that you're gonna rope.
Yeah. Just let the horse go in there and work. And I might say, hey, I like this one better, but whatever she wants to do in there is fine by me because she'll learn as she gets going more,
It'll be really fun as well because as you get her gaits down under you, you become one.
Yeah.
There was a movie that made me remember what it was like to ride the horses because you almost connect like you're one when you're together. And a lot of people don't understand. They think, oh, geez, if I ride a horse, I'll just get hurt. But when you get that connection, it's almost like you're one spirit.
That's right, yeah.
It's a lot of people don't get it, but I guess they would if they tried it. But now you train actors to ride as well?
Oh, no, I could train. I used to be a horse trainer when I was at the Brinsburg Riding School, but no, I haven't done that to train actors to ride. But I'd love to be able to do that.
I think you'd do a great job.
Yeah, thank you.
I think it'd be a great thing for you to do because you enjoy it so much.
Yeah,
it would be you'd actually be doing something you absolutely love. Teaching people something that is, for one, when you teach them how you do it, then they figure out how they want to do it and they integrate what they learn from you.
Yeah, you just sort of like mix and match a little bit, hey, like.
It's almost like you're a stunt rider because, to be honest, when you're riding these wild animals, because I think the bulls are a little bit wild myself, because you can't predict. There's no control.
No, like you just got a little piece of rope holding in your hand, you know.
I know, or a strap, or a little strap.
I really like when I was riding these breaking these Northern Territory horses. We used to have a strap over the saddle, and it's like you call it a monkey. You know, I used to grab hold of that, and you know. And I had one bloke say, "Hey, he's cheating. He's grabbing hold of the strap." And my dad said, "If he doesn't grab hold of that strap, he's going to be hitting the dirt."
Oh my goodness! Now, your family, did they get involved with the whole horse thing, or was that just your place? That was your thing.
Well, Mum's used to ride a little bit, and Dad's always ridden. When he was a kid, my grandfather used to ride for Sid Kidman, the Cattle King. He used to be owned a lot of properties around Australia, and Dad rode. My grandfather rode for him, and Dad learned how to ride there, and I just sort of learnt from Dad, you know. And he used to always come to the riding lessons with me and take me home, and you know, and things like that. But he never went to a rodeo because I didn't tell him until after a while, and you know.
Oh no! Well, worry about you getting hurt.
Yeah, he thought I was an idiot.
Oh, geez, now what are we going to do with our son?
Yeah, I was dumb.
That's awesome, though. How fun for you.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you,
and now you've got your favorite horse now.
Yes.
So I love this. I think this is great. I would love to talk more about the horses, but I really kind of want to get into some of the things that you've been doing. But I think we'll be going to break in a few minutes. So I'm looking at, now you named your company Spirit Rider Productions.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
What inspired that besides I understand, you know, that you're a rider?
Yeah, well, I've had a big painting, you know, I came from New Mexico, and it's on my wall in my bedroom, and it was an Indian riding through a graveyard, you know, and I thought, maybe I should call it Ghost Rider Productions, and then I thought Spirit is another name for a ghost, you know, and I just thought Spirit Rider Productions, and it just sort of matches, you know, because I love the American Indians. I think they're amazing people, and they take what they've done in their life and how they're treated now. It's really sad, but I just love the name Spirit Rider Productions, and everybody that hears it thinks, yeah, that's pretty good, you know?
I think it's a great story behind what inspired the name itself for your production company.
Yeah, thank you, Debbie.
Really interesting. And that I didn't know that you had a like for the Native Americans and the history behind that. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Did you ever want to be a cowboy in a movie?
Yeah.
You do? I think you'd be great.
Yeah. You know what? If I had my life to live over again, I'd probably be a mountain man or a cowboy. Hey, but I've always wanted to be a cowboy, you know? So.
If you were a mountain man, where would you live?
I'd probably live up in the Rockies, hey, you know?
Rockies. That would be mountain man living.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. You don't get any more mountain man than being in the Rockies.
No, but can you imagine you're just starting up the hill and you fall down, tripped over one rock and fall all the way down to the top.
Then you got to start all over walking back up. You can't drop anything on the way up either.
No, yeah.
You'll tumble down the hill.
Yeah, they're so much cleaner, yeah. It was more like I'd probably get up really, really high up and there'd be a guy sitting on a rock playing a harp and go, you can't go any higher, Brian.
You've reached your limit. Brian, go back down now.
Yeah.
We don't have room right now for you, Brian.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Everybody hang on. We're going to take a really quick break, and we'll be back talking more about some of Brian's projects.
Okay.
And we're on radio break. Going great. Thank you.
Awesome. I'm glad that we talked about the horses, because now we can focus on the films. But how fun! I love it.
Thank you,
So
Debbie.
fun.
Yeah. I feel so much more relaxed now. Hey, like.
I'm glad. I didn't want you to be nervous.
Yeah.
Because you never know what a show is going to be like, but we're talking about you, so it doesn't get any better than that.
I've been told I'm a wonderful human being, but I don't know.
I think you are. I don't see why you wouldn't be. Mark's a great guy.
I am?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You are.
I am? You sure about that?
And I'm awesome, so.
Of course you are. You're my host. You're always going to be awesome because you're with me.
It's funny, people will ask me how I'm doing, and I go, I'm great. How are you?
Yeah.
Why not? If anything, they just go, there's no way she could be awesome or great like that. But you know what? Yes, I can.
Why not?
and I love your accent,
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Mark is from the deep.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
But he lives there.
No, where am I from, Debbie?
Pennsylvania.
Exactly. I'm
From
not.
Pennsylvania.
Even though
But
I
he
live in
lives-
Texas, I'm from Pennsylvania.
I love the King Ranch
He's
Quarter.
central. So if you ever go to Texas, you'll have a friend in Texas.
I'm quite a ways from ranch houses and stuff like that. I live in a city.
Live in the city.
Yeah.
But it's not far to everywhere down there.
No, I'm about an hour from Austin and another hour to hour and a half to Dallas, and 45 minutes to Waco, 3 hours to Houston, 3 hours to Corpus Christi.
Yeah, I think that's great actually, because if it only takes you an hour, but then you got to consider traffic.
Yeah.
No, that's with traffic because everybody drives 80 miles an hour here. We only have two kinds of roads here.
Oh, fast and slow.
Huge highways, and dirt roads.
Oh, really? I'm only actually about 20 minutes from Brisbane, hey?
Really?
So, yeah.
What is Brisbane like?
Believe it or not, one of the stations that we broadcast out of is in Cooma.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Do you know where that is?
Yeah, but
North South Wales.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And Brisbane's pretty good. It's grown all the time, hey? But
Yeah.
And we're live right now, and you're in Australia, and we're live in Australia too. So.
Yep.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't that neat?
I hope my mustache is on straight.
Oh yeah, because no problem. We're on radio, because they always see you so well. Debbie's always sporting her lingerie around while we're on air and stuff like that, in her fuzzy slippers, And I'm like, Debbie, we're on radio, so don't worry about it,
He's so funny.
Oh, I do that all the time to Letrianne, and she is like, oh, well, I do have the fuzzy slippers on in my nightgown. I'm like, you didn't need to tell me that, all right?
I do have the leopard underwear.
Okay, all right.
I knew I should have changed my socks.
Oh.
I've still got the same from a week ago, I just turned them inside out. Or change feet.
Oh, you guys.
Okay, well, Teresa's in the Josh U TV chat saying she made it and we sound awesome, and yeah, she's our insider. So our number one insider. Hi, Teresa.
You guys
glad you can make it. Woohoo!
Hi, Teresa. Well, I'm glad we sound awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're comfortable, Brian. I strive to try to make.
Oh, wait.
What?
Okay. Well, I wanted to make sure I wasn't going over on time because we're still on break, okay?
Okay.
But we're under a minute till we come back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you've both been really nice to me, which is good, you know.
That's how you want to be treated in the world, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. One hand shakes the other. I grew up in the old. Mark and I are both old souls, so.
Yeah.
Oh, Teresa says hi to everybody here. And even back. Yes.
All right.
Okay, well, get ready for the countdown because here it comes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Debbie, you were live and on the air right now.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is Debbie Perkins with the Hollywood Red Carpet Radio Show. And I'm here with Brian Vaughan, Spirit Rider Production.
Hi, Debbie. How are you?
Welcome back.
Yep.
Now, you've had kind of an exciting twist in your life, Brian, with the filming industry. How did you get started? What was like your very first project that you can talk about?
Well, I saw an ad for they wanted short films in Brisbane, and so I wrote this short film called Swallow's Nest. It was and I didn't know anything about film, only what I guessed they were doing on television. So I wrote the script, and when my mate was doing his lines, I had the camera on him, and when I was doing my lines, he had the camera on, and then I did a couple of little things like Elvis Presley. I did a videotape of Elvis Presley painting because my mate looked like him, and I did a couple of other little things and put it in there, put it all together, and it was quite good, you know. So, you know.
Oh, neat. And you. No, I see that was in 1996. So you've been really at this quite a long time.
Yeah, and I'm still trying to get famous, you know.
Well, you will, or if you have people know about you. I think that's how you be. Well, I guess it depends on you. You know what you feel is famous. You've accomplished some great things. And you've got to be in some awesome filming. Now, what got you interested in being a director?
I just wanted to see if I could do it. You know?
Oh, good.
You know, and I directed the first short, and that was good. And then I directed a couple others. Didn't win any award, but played twice in Ballarat. And then I just started. Just keep going from there. I've done a lot more writing, you know, do a lot of writing, and I just
now with the writing, how do you get inspired to do your writing? Because I know that, you know, authors a lot of time they get blocked. You know, they're just whatever. I guess it's kind of like they just. How do you inspire yourself to prevent yourself from getting blocked? And where do your ideas come from? Do you get them from natural life or?
I'm lucky. I've written about 40 shorts and probably about 20 features, but most of the time I get people to ask me to do features from magazines, novels and stuff like that. So sometimes you read something, you think, oh, that's pretty cool, and I'll do that. But I've done a lot of screenplays from novels and stories that people have told me about themselves, you know. So.
Oh, that's awesome. So you give another artist a voice.
Yes, that's right.
It's exactly what it is, and you're bringing light to a story that might have never hit, you know, where it should, and that's great because you're giving people a chance to get their stories out there alongside of your own.
Yeah, that's right. You know, and you know, some of them you wouldn't believe it happened. Like a friend of mine was on the HMAS Hobart in Vietnam during the Vietnam War, and he wrote a book called Operation Sea Dragon. We did that, put that script together, and we had some people say, yeah, we want to do it, and then they just sort of backed away. And when people back away, you never really hear from them again, you know.
Yeah.
You know, But sometimes, like these young people nowadays, there's some brilliant young directors and producers, and they can just walk in there with a story and bang, they've got it made. But a lot of people got to struggle for a long, long time, so.
And that's what it is. And a lot of, and that's why we talk about this, because so many young people want to grow up and they say, hey, I want to do that, but it's not a cakewalk, and they should know that there's going to be struggles along the way. Nobody becomes famous overnight. It's work, and you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now, you've got some other movies here that you've worked on and with. Now, you wrote and produced, director and editor for The Curse of Sally.
Yes.
Now, that sounds like a really interesting film. Is it a film or a short story?
It's a film. My friend Ron Boschak, who wrote the book Operation Sea Dragon, he was in Papua New Guinea around the 1972, and CRA was there on Bougainville Island, and it's basically the story of these contractors that go to the island to do work like paint and things like that, and then they get drunk one night and feel brave, and next morning they go and they climb this big mountain that's taboo. The natives won't let anybody go there, and one bloke got killed on the mountain, and another fellow got killed driving, a few months later, driving down these big mountain roads. And then another bloke was home, and he got in a big car accident, so there was only one person left out of all of it. It's a true story, People people don't realise that if somebody says, like the Aboriginals or the American Indians or someone like that says, don't do this because it's not right, it's sacred to us, you got to listen to what they say, hey, because they've been around a lot more than what we have, and there's a reason for what they're saying, and apparently my mate Ron didn't listen to him.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, but I actually, my father was involved in Papua New Guinea. He was a Kiat, which is a cross between a police constable and I can't think of the word, but he was there for a long time, and he told me a lot of things that were happening, and so you got to listen to what they say, and people got their ways of telling you things that you got to respect them. Hey,
I agree with you, because they may know what you don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think you're right. Now you won some awards.
Yeah.
That's crazy cool. Now, what did you think? What was your first reaction when you found out that you had won? And let the audience know what you were winning.
Yeah. Well, I was feeling a bit downhearted because I wasn't doing nothing was happening, and so out of the blue I thought, I'll just put in my film Rarity into this award, and next thing I get about a week later I get this message, you've won this award. I just jumped up, I raced into the kitchen with Dad, said, Dad, I won, and then a few days later I get up again, Dad, I won this, so it's it's a vampire film, and you know what, people like to be scared.
It was a vampire film.
Yeah.
No, what was the synopsis behind the film?
Well, it's a story about this family of vampires. They got to move from town to town because things are happening, and so they move into this small town, and this girl, the young girl vampire, she falls in love with the boy next door. It's like a teenage love angst story, And,
okay.
Yeah, and then her mum goes a bit crazy, and she bites her dad, and he goes on a rampage, and she goes on a rampage, and this girl's torn between her mum, her dad, and the boy she loves. So it's You know,
That's
it's a
interesting.
love story. It's a teenage love story and a bit of horror in between, eh?
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
To keep the. But I love that you're doing things for the younger people because they're the next generation. They're going to be watching what we're doing, and then they're going to create.
Oh.
Now you get some really cool works in progress right now.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah, go ahead.
I so love working with these kids. You know, I did one for a young girl called Amelia Ayres a couple of years ago.
I did.
It's called Short Sleeves. A little girl, her mum passed away, and she's having a lot of trouble with work and with her dad and school, and she can't get it all together. And Amelia wrote the script, and she was only, I think she was only about 13, 14 at the time, and it won she got a big award from ASIN Film Festival, and I've never met her before, and she's just an amazing little girl. She's 15 now, but yeah, some of these kids, they're just so good, yeah, and
their imaginations. They grew up with so much more information because they can get on the internet. I think the internet has changed the world. Now, during COVID-19, did you do any work with the green screens, or do you just not want to deal with the green screens and you like working more so with the actual place and the scene? And
yeah, I like working with the actual place and the thing, but green screen is good if you know what to do and everything like that. But mate, I'm just sort of like old fashioned, and I like just doing it my way.
Nothing wrong with being old fashioned.
Yeah.
I think some of the best movies in the world were created 50 years ago.
Oh yeah, and they're still amazing to watch,
Oh, absolutely. Who inspires you as a director and then an actor? Because there's different actors in the world. Yeah. There's different directors in the world. Who inspires you? Or who would you like to meet if you could?
I would so love to meet Quentin Tarantino or Robert Rodriguez, Quentin Tarantino, he did Dusk Till Dawn, and Robert Rodriguez did the Mariachi and all those other films, and like if I'm watching them, when I'm watching a movie, I like watching it and then put these little things in the back of my head, because those techniques you'll never use again, but you never know. You might be in a situation where I've got to do this, and then you flick back to who you were watching before and who you like, So, but I would love to do a love story or a puppy dog story, hey, but everybody...
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, they want
go from vampires to puppies. But, that because a lot of people are rescuing animals that are on the, that are people dumping, and there's a lot of stories behind that, and that they are they get a lot of audience, especially rescues. But yeah, that would be cool. That would be different. You'd have a different audience. You might have more of the maybe not the horror audience, but then again, you don't know. You don't know. You do a lot of different types of things, but do you like working with the horror, or was that just kind of came out at this time?
That just seemed to come out, and then you do one horror, and then somebody says, "Can you do another one?" And that just keeps going. People like people like to be scared. Hey, they say they don't, but more people probably go and see a horror film than they will something else. And I was just lucky. I just did something that people could connect to. And it was, and vampires and werewolves. Like who doesn't love vampires and werewolves?
Ever since Romano, or who was the first person to? I'm sorry about that. I don't know if you can hear that motorcycle. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, that's all right.
But yeah, I mean, the first, ever since the first werewolf, ever since the first vampire movie,
Yeah.
everybody's they've been addicted to being scared, like you said.
Mm.
What was one of your favorite movies growing up?
I love Lon Chaney, in The Werewolf,
Lon Chaney, he was
The
great.
Man of 1,000 Faces. Isn't he amazing?
He was a man. Nobody's ever replaced that man as far as his skill set.
Yeah. But I just think he's amazing. But I love watching westerns. My hero was John Wayne, Red River, and She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, Rio Grande, and The Quiet Man, things like that.
That's old school.
Yeah.
That's the wild, wild west.
It is, eh? Yeah.
It is. If you could film anywhere in the world, where would you do it?
You know what? I would love to film over in Egypt, around that area. I'd love to go to Petra, I think the Middle East, and Petra, and such a vast culture over there, and that's where they did the Indiana Jones and the Holy Grail. When they went after the Holy Grail, they filmed it there. But yeah, I would love to film there. But
that would
I'd love to
that would be different.
I'd love to be filmed anywhere I can get paid for it if I can.
Oh, I know. Now, if you could be a superhero in any comic, and we say it doesn't. I mean, you don't have to pick DC or Marvel. Any comic could be a comic that you know of from another genre. Mark knows all kinds. My producer Mark knows all kinds of comics.
Yeah.
If you could be a comic character, you can be a villain too. But if you could be a hero or a villain, which one would you be and why?
I like to be Superman. Like he can change the course of mighty rivers.
He can fly fast too.
Yeah.
He changes clothes in 3 seconds. Yeah, he's speedy.
Yeah.
He's very fast. Fly around the world in a minute.
Yeah. And if you did something wrong today, you could just fly backwards and go, oh, goodness, I fixed that up. Nobody knows what a dope I was yesterday.
The reverse hero.
Oh, come on. I can see you being more of a Mandrake the Magician type guy where you change the course of everything through magic.
Oh, yeah. And I do have a top hat in my room, yes. And
the top hat could be magic.
Yeah. And I could find a cape.
Yes. Yeah. Every man should have a cape in his closet.
They should, eh?
They should, because you never know when you need to pull out the superhero.
And yet you'd have no reason for leaving the closet, would you?
That's too funny. That's too funny. Oh my gosh. Wow. Now you got some sorry. I apologize.
Right. No need to apologize.
It's the pollen in the air. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Can't get rid of it. Now you got some work in progress that you are working on currently. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I got a werewolf film I did for a script. I did the script for a friend of mine, Professor Jeffrey Godden in Indiana, and we were hoping to shoot it at Camerock Studios in New Mexico. That's one option I've been doing, and Rarity, we've been trying to get that made up into a feature film, but I got a few. I'm working with a few different people like my mate Carlo Erwin in Los Angeles, California. He's got a few projects that I'm working with, and I'm hoping to do stuff with Karen Breckenridge. She's around New Mexico now, and Jerome Marica, he's in Los Angeles, and a mate of mine, Louis Grief, he's in South Africa. He's got a couple of projects, television projects he wants to bring to Australia, and he's asked me to come on board, which is nice, because those people, I've known them for years and years, and I've always had nothing but kindness from them. Hey,
That's a great collaboration to create more projects. Yeah. I like that. Now, are you writing currently?
No, I just finished rewriting a script for a friend of mine in New Zealand, Maikol Peterson. She's really lovely. She's done a lot of scripts, and she sends me stuff to have a look at. And I did it last year, and then somebody else was working on it, somebody from America, and they try to make it too Americanized, and Australian right. Americans got their own different ways of culture and talking in scripts, so I had to bring it back to Australia, and I like helping people.
That's awesome that you can do that, Brian, because we don't understand the difference. We really don't understand. We know that there's just like talking with you, we have different, just the way we speak. But other than that, we don't know about the different, Yeah,
and it sort of like takes one to know one, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
Does. It does.
And I've got one with Bradley Golden. He's a lovely man in Mississippi. But I got this thing. I suffer from anxiety, depression, Hashimoto's, and Graves' disease. So, sometimes I do get a little bit sick, and I take time off for 3 months, and then I come back.
Yep.
I think that having those things done makes me try and care more for people. Like I won't say anything bad about anybody on Facebook. But I always try to support people as much as I can, and just try and give them, especially the kids. I'll support any kid in the film industry, just share their work and give them a little bit of a pat on the back, because they need it, and they're our future. Hey, Debbie,
Absolutely. Now, you have some feature scripts. I'm looking at your website, and if anybody wants to check out Brian's website, it is at www.spiritriderproductions.com.
Yep. That's right.
And when you go to that site, it's very beautiful. You did a really nice job with it. Yeah. I absolutely love the picture of you riding a bull. And so if anybody wants to see Brian in action, you can go to this page. Yeah. And there's a lot to this website, so you can look around. But you have some on here, work in progress. You have some feature scripts. Can I mention them, or?
Yeah, sure. Please.
Okay.
Do, yeah.
You have one called Quincy Hill.
Yeah.
Claiborne, Stalking Horse, Tunnel to Hell, and Ravishing Ruby.
Yeah.
And then we have short scripts on this side, which is Bull Mastiff. Now, is that a dog movie?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Bull Mastiff Private Dog.
I love those dogs. Bull Mastiff. Okay, so I said it wrong. So it's supposed to be Bull.
That's right.
Oh, okay. Because you got Bull Mastiff, Private Dog, and When Heroes Meet.
Yeah.
Now, that's a lot of things that you're working on currently. Yeah, how do you stay focused? I mean, what do you do to center yourself?
I think sometimes the more you keep busy, the more relaxed you are. Like I like just keep doing what I'm doing, and if I feel like I'm overwhelmed, I just take time off, get in front of the TV and watch watch something, but I never, I do know how far I can push myself, and if I can start feeling a little bit anxious, a bit heavy, I'll take a break. But I just like working the way I am,
Well, you've done so many wonderful things. It is incredible. What is some things that we don't know about you that I can't look it up?
Okay. Well, I'm 5'4". I got hazel eyes and brown hair, and I got a beard. And on my left side, I look like Rock Hudson, and on the right side, left side, I look like Charles Manson. Hey, so
That what somebody said to you.
Yeah.
You should have been a comic. You are so funny.
Oh, thank you.
You really are. Can you tell me a little bit about when you were with Steven Spielberg in the 3D drama?
Yeah.
Terra Nova. What was that about?
It was sort of like the end of the world thing, and I played one of these homeless type people, So it was good. It's like this big arena, and you can't get out. But I have been in so many movies. I always seem to be either a cowboy, a pirate, prisoner of war. I've been in the movies. I've been in jail more times than some of these guys in real life. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part that you've ever played?
I loved playing I played two pirates in Peter Pan.
Peter Pan, I forgot. Yeah. I saw that earlier. You did? Oh, that must have been amazing.
It was good. And Jason Isaacs, when they did a couple of little things, like he had to, when you do some little preparatory work with the lead actor, like I had to hand him a telescope, and I handed him the wrong way around. He goes, "You handed it the wrong way around." And then we did this scene. We did about four goes around, just trying everything out, see how it works. Had to run around the mast and then run upstairs to the main deck. And he goes, and I sort of dozed off. And he comes up to me and he goes, "All in your own good time." And he is wonderful. And I had my birthday on that film set, and he came in and he wished me a happy birthday, and all the crew, cake. It was and I'm still friends with people from that. That was 2003. Wow. I'm still friends with people from there.
Well, we've run out of time, sadly. But I really enjoyed having you on, and I want to thank you so much for coming on, Brian, and spending your time with us. Everybody, this was Brian Vaughan. Please go see him at www.spiritwriterproductions.com. And also, Brian, they can catch you on Facebook, can't they?
Yes, they can. Yeah,
awesome.
And thank you so much, Debbie and Mark. It's been a real pleasure. And Debbie, you made me feel so comfortable, and it was really lovely talking to you.
I appreciate that. Well, everybody, we will see you again. Thank you so much for listening this evening. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right, and we are clear.
Good job, Brian. That was amazing.
Oh, thank you. Now, can I breathe now?
Yes.
Yeah, you can.
I was holding my breath and all the way through.
You did a great job. No, you did a great job. That was a lot of fun for us.